And when we worked on, when we improvised and worked at Paramount, he was very simple, very easy, doesn't make big demands on you, and had tremendous, great breakdowns of the character and the situations that, you know, were really, really, he had done a lot of thinking for me, sometimes too much thinking, where you're almost seduced by how good it sounds and clear. Then you have to, it's like, yeah, well, it's all there, so I don't have to do anything, but you realize you have to make it work for yourself. And it's like reading a script that's so good that you want to say the lines exactly the way they are, but you have to realize that sometimes you have to have a little flexibility in order to, I feel, in order to make it more personal and get the idea of what this scene is about.
You know, when you're going to acting school, and
have you on the whole worked with what you might call actors, directors, or are they the ones you prefer, the ones that have a particular interest in acting, and rather than you know, the kind of...
Well, I've worked with many directors, especially more modern directors. Didn't know much about acting, but what they did have was just a very acute sensitivity to people, and not only actors, and so that they would respect anything that they did. They had a certain, you know, like Scorsese has a very deep respect for people, actors, in terms of, you know, he always, it's like very sacred to him, you know, very, so that's important. When you see someone do something, you can get an idea how it should be done by watching what they're doing that's wrong, or wrong in your eyes, in my eyes.
After all the different films and different roles that you've done, Robert, would you now say that you have an approach, or is it horses for courses?
I think it's, you know, each problem is individual. I know that it really doesn't matter from whether you spend a lot of time trying to prepare in a certain way, unless it really, you know, works for you. My way is to not worry about things until I mean, I know what I have to do when I'm there, but I think it is a way of conserving energy, only using the energy when it's necessary. And I think that's from just doing it so much. I know what's really important and what's not. And sometimes it's just something that I can see in a script that maybe no one else can, and I follow my own instincts about it. The thing with movies is, you know, there's so much waiting, and you're getting to the moment, that the moment isn't usually the time when you think it's going to be. Yeah. You're all ready, but they're not ready, yeah. You know. So you gotta...
Can you switch off? I mean, do you find that they take you over in any marked degree? If you're playing Max Cady, are you that much more difficult to be with outside, off the set?
Well, sometimes what might happen is that if you're in a certain rhythm as an actor and playing a certain part, a character, you might, at the end of the day, if you're very hyped up and always doing one, it might carry over to the dinner that night.
Tell me what you feel about improvisation. I mean, I've noticed on this one that unless you're invited to, in which case you're very open to it, that you know, very good about sticking, you know, absolutely to what's written.
For me, this piece is that kind of thing. It demands that kind of discipline, because you don't want to get into being too contemporary, and you have to watch out every move that you make, every word. If it's the right word, you can do it. Sometimes you add a word here and there, but you have to sort of stick to the...
So it's not an absolutely given thing that you would consider that, you know, improvisation was absolutely the norm?
When you improvise, even if you do something that might appear to be improvised, it'll be improvised slightly. There'll be ad-libs and stuff like that, but actually it's been worked out before.